What's up, everybody? It's me, Stevie, Supersmallchibiwolf, and today I'm going to be talking about will piracy cause a future gaming crash. I'll be covering different topics and more, so let's get into this. So, first thing off is piracy. Now, me personally, I think when it comes down to it, I think, piracy, like me personally, I think it's cool. Free stuff always wonderful. You save money and great. You know what I mean? Whether it's TV shows, anime, etc. Gaming is just a part of that, So I feel like when it comes down to piracy, any method to save money is great. But it's always great to support the upcoming stalls, you know what I mean? The newcomers. So yeah. Now, one thing I would say as well though is that when it comes down to like modern gaming, when companies start abusing and using their customer base as a money, wonderland or whatever, then I feel like the customers have the right, retaliate. You know what I mean? Boom. If they're going to try to use and abuse the system, then don't complain when the customers go at you. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it personally. Like, don't get me wrong, like modern gaming in general, if like say Nintendo, right, actually had a wonderful gaming device that could do so much, because let's be honest, you look at a modern phone, right, a smartphone, and you look at the Nintendo Switch 2, that smartphone, hell, it's in fact, let's do this. Think of a smartphone that came out in 2020. Okay, that's 6 years ago. The Nintendo Switch came out 1 year ago. A phone that came out in 2020 is more powerful and capable than a Nintendo Switch 2. And before some fanboy tries to call me out, fanboy, fangirl, why doesn't the Nintendo Switch 2 capable of many other things? You know what I mean? Like, for example, be realistic. Like, you can live stream, you can't fully record your gameplays, and you can't. Basically, the PS4 does what Switch 2 doesn't, and the PS4 came out before the Switch 1, just to remind everyone. So, I don't know. I see these companies and I try to be logical and say, wait a minute, you have all this money and power, yet you don't want to use it to enhance your, there's nothing wrong with a company trying to make a lot of money. That's what a company's for, obviously, But at least give reason for us to spend our money. You know what I mean? How many IPs and franchises does both Sony and Nintendo refuse to touch anymore? And that's a very awful shame. And yeah, that's and not just them, but third-party companies too. For example, we have Reiko from Ridge Racer right there. Like, what happened? Instead of Bandai Namco having like brand new Pac-Man adventure games, they just re-released the Repack game and boom, Pac-Man and Tekken 8. And don't get me wrong, that Tekken 8 stage is amazing, you know what I mean? But at least give Asuka Kazama like a Pac-Man, cosplay. I don't know, the fun times. And then you see Yoshi, he's pissed. Of course Yoshi's pissed. He hasn't had a new game in a long time. And I'm talking about an actual fun game. Okay, none of this side game stuff, It's just like, I don't know. I just feel that, like that. So yeah, but piracy-wise, right? I think when it comes down to it, seeing how companies are really abusing the subscription-based services and or being lazy, yet, this is how I see it, Sony, they raise the prices, yet they don't give any motivation to why even purchase it other than playing online. Yeah, you get 3 free games a month. Guess what? Those 3 games are basically boring or they're just not that fun. You know what I mean? And I feel like as someone who's played, PlayStation and all that and been a part of that subscription base to play my games online, and, don't get me wrong, they have sometimes in rare moments they have amazing games monthly, but, man, at this point they should just have like a $20 yearly thing like Nintendo Switch and just be like, okay, if you just want to play online, boom, there's an alternative, Remember everyone, PS3 is still free to play online, okay? So I feel like them raising the prices for something ridiculous and forcing extra content is another reason why I think that's just ridiculous, and just like why I don't even care about most of the stuff that they provide, cloud save and all that. I don't care about that. I have a 2 terabyte. I just save it straight to the console. Like, make that optional at least, for some people, because think about it. You using a service that just has a bunch of things that you're never going to use. I don't know. That's another thing that came to my mind. So when it comes down to like piracy and all that stuff, and with this modern stop killing games movement, which is great, a lot of games come and then like not the full game is in the disc, and they never re-release like a version where all the game and DLC is on the disc. So a lot of times it's like, okay, so you're telling me when the company moves on or say goes out of business or something, all that stuff, right? If it doesn't have the update, it's not going to work properly. And that sucks, you know what I mean? And there's many games and examples of that where games have been shut down, discontinued, yet people paid actual money when, to buy the physical copy. But sometimes those special updates or other things aren't available once the company's gone. And then boom, yeah, you just spend whatever amount, whatever game costs, $70, $80, whatever the hell, plus tax. And then it's just sitting on the shelf collecting dust. And you can't resell it because a lot of people know already that that's a dead game, that's a dead thing. And another thing, you could resell to someone who, ignorant and doesn't know that, better. But morally, that's just fucked up, you know what I mean? So yeah. That's basically the equivalent of modern times getting a disc-watered game and just selling it to a retro game store and just to get a few bucks, which isn't the best thing to do, or at all, by the way. So yeah, I just see, the future gaming and what these game companies are announcing with these all digital or like, key cards and stuff. And then I'm like, you know what? Realistically, if buying isn't owning, then piracy ain't stealing. You know what I mean? And I think that's one thing that is going to create such a negative effect for these companies as well. And they're going to be like, wait a minute. We making these games because, making a video game is very expensive, especially, say Final Fantasy 16, Square Enix put a lot of money to make Final Fantasy 16. And don't get me wrong, I never played it. I heard a lot of negative things. Maybe if I see like for $20 someday I'll get it and play it and try it out for myself. But I don't know, even the gameplay just didn't really hit me. But I do enjoy seeing the movie cutscenes and stuff. But yeah, I'm more into the classic Final Fantasies, but that's all besides the point. Future of gaming Crash, I feel like it's going to come down to 3 things. Number 1, companies will truly go away from the physical media, which will really be like, okay, everything's digital, which could be taken away like that. Number 2, it's gonna be a forced subscription, paid subscription, and the gaming will be digitally purchased through there, and you need to have a paid subscription to purchase your digital games, which equals to more abuse from these companies. And then the biggest one, number 3, most likely, let's be realistic, I feel like the future of gaming, man, it's going to be, I feel even if you're like, whether, console, PC, I do both, you know what I mean? I feel like they're going to find a way to really just annoy people to a point where it's like, there's really nothing you realistically could do, you know what I mean? Because once you're stuck in a specific atmosphere that all these companies come together and, agree on, it's like, what could you do? You know what I mean? You're stuck. You're done. KO. And I feel like just to add more pain to it, I feel like individual companies, like say Square Enix, Sega, all these other ones, man, I feel like the future game's gonna be like that. They're just all gonna have their own specific streaming services or accounts that you need to make, and then next thing you know, boom, you're stuck in another subscription service, and then it's just like, it just continues from there. You know what I mean? Like, for example, let me give you, if you're not aware, right? I have a lot of friends that play single player games. I have a lot of friends that play online games that do not do this, but there are some video game companies out there where you have to have a account of that company. Whether it's like I don't know, I believe Square Enix did this with 2 games, and then I was like, okay, I'm good. Wait, you have to have a Square Enix account, and then you log in, and then you could like get extra stuff. You know what I mean? So like, say for example, instead of download it to your PlayStation or Nintendo account or consoles, you have to have a Square Enix account. Then it allows you to download and or, you know, get your in-game goods that it comes with, which is like, why do I need to make a separate account? So now I have 5 other accounts from 5 other companies, that, and not even talking about the console company that I'm using, Sony or Nintendo. And then it's like, all these accounts, like, the fuck? You know, why can't you just like put a code in your console and just chill? Why doesn't it even be in a separate account? But that's just a whole nother thing. But yeah, when it comes down to it, will piracy cause a gaming crash? I feel like, yeah, but in a way, it's the gaming industry's fault at that point for having such a negative effect within their environment, their, you know, customer base that they created themselves. So yeah, that's what I think about all that. I've been thinking about this, so I made a video on it. Let me know what you all think. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye.